Commander Teo sat in the large meeting room of the Galactic Council, feeling very small. Around him were beings from different worlds and species. Some had bodies made of shining crystal that caught the light in strange ways. Others looked almost human, but with skin colors he had never seen before. A few were so different that he had to keep reminding himself they were intelligent beings who could think and talk just like people from Earth. The year was 2187, and this was Teo's first time in front of the Galactic Council. Earth had been exploring space for over 100 years, but they had kept to themselves mostly. Now, something important had happened that made them want to meet with the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Crystallis 9 was speaking now. This being was made of crystal and transparent materials. Light moved through his body in waves. He was the leader of the Valorians, one of the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. His voice was like ice cracking, sharp and clear. "Commander Teo," Crystallis 9 said, "we have called you here because we have a very serious problem. 3 of our exploration teams have disappeared in the Kepler sector. All 3 teams were near human colonies and ships. All 3 teams have gone silent. We want to know what happened to them." Teo felt his heart beat faster. This was not what he expected. Earth had done nothing wrong. Human explorers and traders had been moving through space, but they were peaceful. They came to do business and make friends, not to hurt anyone. "We have no information about your teams," Teo said carefully, "but we will help you find them." "What can we tell you about what happened?" Crystallis 9 touched something in front of him, and a screen appeared. On the screen, Teo saw video recordings. The first one showed a human military team on Mars. They were defending their colony against some kind of attack. There were explosions and fire everywhere. The soldiers were moving quickly, making smart decisions, fighting hard. They were outnumbered, but they did not give up. They used the land around them to help them fight. They used the rocks and buildings as shields. In the end, the attackers left. The human soldiers had won, even though they were fewer in number. "Interesting," said a voice, like many voices speaking at once. This was Zorn Key from the Mindian species. The Mindians were telepathic and could read thoughts. They did not have clear bodies. They looked like moving clouds of light, but they could think very fast and remember everything. "But one battle does not mean much. Many species can fight." Crystallis 9 touched something again. Now Teo watched a video of human traders on a space station. They were talking to alien merchants about the price of metals and water. The humans asked questions. They listened carefully. They made jokes and smiled. By the end of the conversation, the aliens had agreed to give the humans better prices than anyone else had ever received. The traders left smiling, and the aliens looked confused, like they did not understand what had just happened. "They used their minds to trick us," Zornke said. "They made us want to help them. This is unusual." The last video was different. It showed a human research team on a planet where nothing should be able to live. The air was poison. The temperature was so hot that metal would melt. The ground was covered with chemicals that burned skin. But the humans had built suits to protect themselves. They had built machines to help them work. When something broke, they fixed it. When they got hurt, they helped each other. When they got tired, they rested and got up again. They studied the planet and learned its secrets. They survived in a place where humans should have died in minutes. "Humans are adaptive," said a third voice. This was from Multorf 7, a shapeshifter who could change their body to look like anything. Right now, they looked like a large purple creature with many arms. "But so are we. We change our bodies. This is also adaptation." Teo was confused. "I do not understand why you are showing me these videos. What do these things have to do with your missing teams?" Crystallis 9 looked at Teo for a long time. All three missing teams had encountered humans. They had met your people, and then they disappeared. We have looked everywhere. We have sent signals. We have searched the area with our best technology. They are gone, vanished, and in each case, human ships were in the area. Your species was there when our people disappeared. You think humans took your teams? Teo asked, feeling shocked. We do not know what to think, Crystallis 9 said. That is why we called you here. But after looking at what humans can do, after seeing how they survive, how they think, how they never give up, how they surprise us with clever tricks, we have decided something. We have decided that humans are more dangerous than we thought. Teo stood up. Earth has never wanted to hurt anyone. We only want to explore and trade and— Sit down, Commander, Zorn-Key said gently. We are not saying humans are bad. We are saying humans are dangerous. There is a difference. A small animal can be friendly. A large animal can still be dangerous. Both things can be true at the same time. Crystallis 9 called for a vote. One by one, all the leaders of the Galactic Council held up their hands or made signs that meant yes. They voted to give Earth a special name. They voted to call Earth a Level 9 threat world. This was the highest danger level that any world could get. It meant that other species should be careful around humans. It meant that humans were very strong and could be very dangerous. Teo felt angry and scared at the same time. His world was being called dangerous. His people were being seen as a threat. This was not fair. This was not what he wanted. But then something surprising happened. A small voice came from the back of the room. It was Keth from the Xinthan Traders, a species that sold things to everyone in the galaxy. Keth was small, with blue skin and big eyes. Most beings did not pay much attention to the Xinthans because they were not very strong. But Keth stood up anyway. I have a different idea, Keth said. What if we did not hide from humans? What if we showed everyone that humans are dangerous? What if we told the whole galaxy that Earth is the most fearsome planet in known space? Would that not stop anyone from trying to hurt humans? Would that not stop any invader from trying to attack? The room became very quiet. No one had thought of this before. We would need to tell everyone, Keth continued. We would need to make sure every species knows that humans are strong and dangerous and impossible to defeat. Then no one would try. We would not need to worry anymore. Crystallis 9 looked at Zorn-Key. Zorn-Key looked at Multorf 7. One by one, the council members began to nod their heads. It is clever, Crystallis 9 said. It is maybe too clever, but it might work. Earth's representative, what do you think? Would your people accept being known as the most fearsome planet in the galaxy? Teo did not know what to say. He sat down slowly. He looked at the faces around him. They were looking at him, waiting for his answer. He thought about Earth. He thought about his family. He thought about all the people who wanted peace and safety. I think, Teo said slowly, that Earth would like to go home and tell our leaders about this idea. And then we will tell you what we think. Crystallis 9 smiled, which looked very strange on a face made of crystal. That is a good answer, Commander Teo. Go home. Tell your people. Come back and tell us what you think. But know this, you are no longer unknown to the galaxy. The galaxy knows who you are now, and they will remember. Teo left the meeting room, his mind spinning with questions. Everything had changed. Earth was about to become famous, or maybe infamous, across all of space. He did not know if this was good or bad, but he knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The news hit Earth like a wave of energy. Earth wins Most Fearsome Planet Award, read the headlines on screens everywhere. News channels showed the story over and over again. People in cities and towns talked about it in their homes and in the streets. Some people were worried, some people were proud, some people did not know what to think, but everyone was talking about it. Dr. Haywan sat in her office in the United Nations building in Geneva. She was Earth's chief xenological advisor, which meant she studied alien species and taught people about the galaxy. She had dark hair and intelligent eyes that moved quickly as she read through all the information coming in from the Galactic Council. She read the same words over and over. Most fearsome planet. Level 9 threat. Dangerous species. And then something surprising. The Council was not attacking Earth. They were not trying to stop Earth from exploring space. Instead, they were broadcasting this information to every species in the galaxy. They were telling everyone that Earth was dangerous. HFY stood up and walked to her window. She could see the city below with millions of people going about their lives. They did not know that the entire galaxy was now afraid of them. But HFY saw something else in this situation. She saw an opportunity. She called Commander Teo. "I have an idea," she said. "What if we are not just dangerous? What if we use this fear to make Earth stronger? What if we show the galaxy exactly why they should fear us?" "How?" Teo asked. "We tell them stories," HFY said. "We show them videos. We let them see humanity in all its strength. We show them why we are so hard to defeat." Within weeks, the plan was moving forward. The United Earth government approved HFY's idea. They would create a campaign to make Earth's reputation as fearsome as possible. They would not tell lies. They would just tell the truth about humans in the most impressive way possible. Captain Minte was brought into the project. He was a veteran space explorer who had been to dozens of worlds and met many alien species. He was strong, smart, and had the kind of face that looked good on video. HFY and Minte started working together to create a presentation called Why You Should Fear Humanity. They gathered videos and stories from across Earth. They showed humans climbing the highest mountains on Earth. They showed humans diving to the deepest parts of the ocean. They showed humans running marathons and surviving in deserts with almost no water. They showed soldiers in training, learning to fight and survive. They showed doctors doing surgery with steady hands, saving lives. They showed engineers building massive structures that reached into the sky. But they also showed Earth's history. They showed humans fighting wars. They showed that humans could be very violent when they had to be. They showed human weapons and human soldiers. They showed battles and strategies that confused even the most experienced alien military advisors. The most important part of the presentation was about human resilience. This word meant the ability to keep going even when things were very hard. HFY showed videos of humans who had survived terrible accidents. She showed humans who had lived through disasters. She showed humans who had failed many times before finally succeeding. She showed that humans almost never gave up. "This is what makes humans dangerous," Minte explained in the presentation. "It is not just that we are strong, it is that we keep fighting. We keep trying. When something hurts us, we get back up. When we fail, we try again. When we face impossible situations, we find new solutions. This is why we are fearsome, because we are very hard to stop." The United Earth government made a decision that surprised everyone. They created a documentary series for the entire galaxy to watch. It was called The Human Experience. Each episode showed different things that humans could do. One episode was about human soldiers and how they fought. Another was about human athletes and how strong their bodies could be. Another was about human scientists and how they solved problems that seemed impossible. The series was broadcast across all the alien communication networks. Millions of aliens watched it. They saw humans doing things they did not think were possible. They saw humans surviving things that should have killed them. They saw humans being clever and tough and determined. On Earth, the military noticed something interesting. More young people wanted to join the military. They wanted to be part of Earth's fearsome reputation. A young soldier named Ji-woo from Seoul was one of these people. Ji-woo had watched the documentary series with his friends. He saw soldiers protecting colonies and winning battles against difficult enemies. He saw the pride in their faces. Jiwoo went to a military recruitment office. He was tall and had sharp eyes. He was fast and strong. When the officers tested him, they saw that he had good instincts for strategy and fighting. "Why do you want to join?" the officer asked him. "I want to show the galaxy why they should fear Earth," Jiwoo said simply. "I want to be part of something that matters. I want to defend my world." The officer nodded. "You will fit in well. We need soldiers like you, soldiers who understand what we are trying to do." As weeks passed, Earth's fearsome reputation grew bigger and bigger. Alien traders became more friendly. Small alien species that had been bullied by larger ones started to feel safer around humans. Some alien merchants even started paying humans more money because they were afraid of making them angry. But not everything was good. Dr. Hae-won noticed something in the Galactic Council communications. Some of the more powerful and aggressive alien species were not scared of Earth. Instead, they were curious. They wanted to test if humans were really as fearsome as everyone said. They wanted to see if humans could really fight as well as the videos showed. "We may have made a mistake," Hae-won told Min-tae one day. "By making humans seem so fearsome, we may have attracted attention from the most dangerous enemies we could possibly have." Min-tae looked at the communications from the council. He saw messages from the Krell Dominion, a warrior species known across the galaxy for their strength and their love of battle. "The Krell are coming," Min-tae said. "They want to see if Earth is truly fearsome or if we are just good at making videos." Hae-won felt a chill run down her spine. "Then we are about to find out if our campaign was a good idea or a terrible mistake, because the reputation we created will now be tested in real battle. And if we are not as fearsome as we said, the whole galaxy will know that we were lying." That night, Dr. Hae-won could not sleep. She looked at the stars and thought about what was coming. Earth had become famous across the galaxy. Earth's name meant something now. But very soon, that name would be tested by real danger. And there was no way to know if humanity would pass that test or fail it. Captain Min-tae received his orders on a normal Tuesday morning. He was told to take his ship and crew to the outer colonies for a special mission. This was not unusual. Captains went on missions all the time, but this mission was different. The orders mentioned that there was danger. The orders said that an alien species called the Krell Dominion was interested in testing Earth's military strength. Min-tae called his best officers together. The first was Lieutenant Ye-jin, a woman with sharp eyes and a brilliant mind for strategy. She could look at a military problem and see solutions that other people missed. The second was Dr. Ho-sung, a medical specialist who had trained soldiers for space combat. He knew how to keep people alive in the most dangerous situations. "We may have a fight coming," Min-tae told them. "The Galactic Council believes the Krell want to attack one of our colonies. They want to see if humans are really as tough as our reputation says we are." Ye-jin leaned forward. "What do we know about the Krell?" "They are warriors," Min-tae said. "They built their empire by conquering other species. They are strong, organized, and they have never lost a battle against a smaller force. If they attack, they will expect to win easily." Ho-sung asked, "How many soldiers do we have on the colonies?" "Maybe 500 total across 3 colonies," Min-tae answered. "If the Krell attack, they will have thousands." The 3 officers looked at each other. They all knew what this meant. If the Krell attacked, humans would be outnumbered. But they also knew something else. They knew that the entire galaxy was watching. If humans lost, Earth's fearsome reputation would disappear. If humans won, even against bad odds, Earth would become truly legendary. 3 days later, the attack came. A message arrived from the Europa mining colony, one of Earth's important settlements on one of Jupiter's moons. The Krell ships had arrived and demanded that the colony surrender. The Krell commander, Warlord Vexkarth, was leading the attack personally. Vexkarth was massive even by alien standards. He was nearly 3 meters tall with gray skin and muscles that looked like steel. His eyes were white without any color, and they seemed to look through things rather than at them. He had led thousands of battles. He had conquered dozens of worlds. He had never retreated from a fight. When the humans said no to his demand for surrender, Vexkarth attacked. His ships came down from the sky like thunderstorms. They fired weapons that made the ground shake. The mining colony was hit hard. Buildings fell. People ran for cover. But Minte had prepared for this. He had sent Jiwoo, now a lieutenant despite his young age, to Europa with a special unit of trained soldiers. Jiwoo was young, maybe 25 years old, but he was already known as one of the best fighters in the human military. He was calm under pressure. He made smart decisions fast, and his soldiers trusted him completely. When the Krell attack started, Jiwoo did not try to fight on the open ground where the Krell ships could see him. Instead, he led his soldiers into the underground ice caves beneath Europa. These caves were natural tunnels made of ice and rock. The Krell technology did not work well in these tight spaces. Their sensors could not see through so much ice. Their weapons were too big to use effectively. Jiwoo and his soldiers fought in the caves. They used weapons that did not need computer guidance. They used their bodies and their minds. They knew the caves because they had trained there for months. The Krell soldiers did not know the caves. They got lost. Their communications did not work well. They could not call for help. Above ground, Ye-Jin was working on a different problem. The Krell had better weapons. The Krell had more soldiers. The only advantage humans had was their minds. Ye-Jin used a computer to hack into the Krell communications system. She was not trying to hurt anyone. She was just trying to mess with their signals. She made their messages confusing. She sent false orders. She made it seem like some Krell soldiers were supposed to be in places they were not. The Krell became confused. Soldiers arrived at wrong locations. Commanders did not know where their troops were. Orders got mixed up. And while the Krell were confused, human soldiers moved to safety or attacked when it made sense to attack. Ho Sung set up a medical station in a hardened bunker. He took care of wounded soldiers. He also did something else that was very important. He kept people's spirits up. He told jokes. He reminded soldiers why they were fighting. He made them believe they could win. The battle lasted 6 hours. It was fierce and terrible. People died. Both human and Krell soldiers fell. Blood and fire mixed together in the cold of Europa. But something unexpected happened. The more the Krell fought, the harder humans seemed to fight. When humans got tired, they pushed harder. When human soldiers got hurt, they kept fighting. When their plans did not work, they made new plans immediately. They did not hesitate. They did not question. They just acted. The Krell were used to enemies who broke down under pressure. The Krell were used to battles where the stronger force won and the weaker force ran away. But humans did not run away. They seemed to get stronger when things got harder. The more difficult the situation became, the more dangerous humans became. After 6 hours, Warlord Vexkarth made a decision that had never happened before in his entire military career. He ordered his soldiers to stop fighting. He ordered them to leave. The Krell were not defeated, but they were pulling back. They were leaving the battle. As the Krell ships flew away from Europa, Minte received a message. It was from Warlord Vexkarth himself. The Krell leader wanted to talk. "Humans," Vexkarth said, his voice deep and slow. "I came here expecting an easy victory. I came here expecting to crush you. But you are not what I expected. You are worthy of respect. I withdraw from this battle. I do not continue fights. I cannot win with honor. And I cannot defeat you. I see now why the Galactic Council calls you fearsome. You are not fearsome because you are so strong. You are fearsome because you do not know how to stop. This is a kind of strength we have never seen before." The message ended, and Minte stood in silence. The Krell were leaving. The human colony was saved. The humans had won against impossible odds. The news spread across the galaxy. The Galactic Council was shocked. The Krell had retreated. The Krell, who never gave up, had chosen to leave. This meant that Earth's fearsome reputation was not just for show. It was real. Jiwoo and his soldiers came out of the ice caves, covered in frost and dust. They were tired. Some were hurt. Some were crying because they had lost friends in the battle. But they had won. They had faced the most powerful warriors in the galaxy and survived. Mintai embraced Jiwoo when he saw him. "You did well," he said. "You made Earth proud." Jiwoo looked at his captain. "We had to win. The whole galaxy was watching. We could not let them down." That night, on Earth and on all the human colonies in space, people celebrated. They had proven something important. They had proven that Earth's fearsome reputation was not an accident. It was earned. It was real. And the galaxy would remember it forever. After the Krell retreated from Europa, something amazing started to happen. Smaller alien species that had been bullied and threatened by larger powers began reaching out to Earth. They wanted to make agreements with humans. They wanted to trade with humans. Some even wanted military protection from humans. The first visitor to Earth's government offices was an alien named Keth. Keth was small, maybe only 1 meter tall, with bright blue skin and large round eyes. He came from a species called the Gelnathi, who had been forced to pay money and give resources to the Valorians for hundreds of years. The Valorians were powerful and used that power to force smaller species to obey them. Keth sat across from Dr. Heywan in a meeting room. He looked nervous, like he was about to ask for something very dangerous. "Your Excellency," Keth said in careful English, "my people have watched what you did. We saw the Krell retreat. We know that humans are strong, but we know something else now too. We know that when you won, you did not take anything that was not yours. You defended your colony, and you stopped. You did not attack the Krell. You did not take their ship or their weapons. You stopped when the danger was gone." Heywan listened carefully. "Other species," Keth continued, "when they become strong, they use that strength to take things from weaker species. They conquer and control. But you did not do this. This means something. This means maybe humans are different. Maybe humans are dangerous but also fair. And if that is true, maybe we can work together. Maybe you can help protect us from the ones who hurt us." Within weeks, the Gelnathi had agreed to trade with Earth. They were skilled at making things. They could build machines and tools better than almost any other species. In exchange, Earth's military would help protect their trade routes from pirates and aggressive species. Then other small species started coming. The Mindians, who had been impressed by human cleverness, sent a representative to Earth. This alien was made of light and moved like water, but his thoughts were sharp and fast. "We have studied humans," the Mindian said. "You are not just strong in body. You are strong in mind. You solve problems in ways no other species thinks of. You create things that should not be possible. We would like to have an exchange program. We want to learn from you, and we can teach you how to use telepathy better." Even some of the Moltorfs, the shapeshifters who usually worked alone, started working with Earth. They were fascinated by human biology because humans could not change their shape, yet humans survived in so many different environments. How was this possible? The Moltorfs wanted to study with human scientists. In a short time, Earth had become something new. It was no longer just a single planet fighting alone. It was the center of a coalition of species. Small species that wanted protection found safety with humans. Species that wanted trade found fair deals with humans. Species that wanted to learn found teachers in humans. But not everyone was happy about this. Crystallis 9, the Valorian leader, began to whisper things to the other members of the Galactic Council. He told them stories about Earth's true plans. According to Crystallis 9, Earth was building an army of smaller species. They were preparing to conquer the entire galaxy. They were using friendliness as a trick to get other species to trust them. "Do you not see?" Crystallis 9 told the council. "Humans are clever." "They are very clever. First, they made us think they were dangerous. Then they made smaller species think they were fair and protective. But what they are really doing is gathering power. Soon they will have enough allies to dominate everyone. We should have quarantined Earth when we had the chance. We should have stopped them before they became so powerful." Some council members listened to these warnings. They became worried about Earth. But many others did not believe Crystallis 9. They had seen how humans treated their allies. They had seen that humans did not take unfair advantage. They had seen that humans could have attacked and conquered, but they chose not to. Mintai was promoted to Fleet Admiral because of his victory at Europa. Now he commanded all of Earth's military forces in space. Yejin was made Earth's military representative to the Galactic Council. Jiwoo became a captain and was given command of a special peacekeeping force that included soldiers from many different species. Ho-sung did something different. He published a scientific paper about why humans could survive so well in bad situations. The paper explained that humans had something inside them that made them want to keep going. Even when things were terrible, humans found reasons to continue fighting. Other species had this too, but humans seemed to have it more strongly than most. Scientists and doctors from across the galaxy wanted to study with Ho-sung. His research became famous everywhere, but the conflict between Crystallis 9 and Earth was growing. The Valorians started doing aggressive things. They sent military ships near the places where humans and their new allies were trading. They made dangerous movements like they were about to attack. They were trying to scare the smaller species away from Earth. They wanted to frighten humans' allies into leaving. This went on for weeks. The Valorian ships flew close to human trading routes. They made threatening signals. They were testing to see how far they could go before humans fought back. Mintai did not order an attack. Instead, he ordered something else. He ordered all human and allied ships to move into formation. He organized a coordinated defense that was so beautiful and so brilliant that even alien military experts stopped to watch. The humans and their allies arranged themselves in space in a pattern that made it impossible for the Valorians to attack without getting hurt. They did this without firing a single weapon. They did this using only movement and organization. The Valorians looked foolish because they had made threatening movements, but they could not actually do anything without losing the battle. The Valorians had to retreat, but this time they did not just retreat quietly. They lost face in front of the entire Galactic Council. Every species saw that the Valorians had tried to threaten humans, and the humans had defeated them without even using weapons. At the next Galactic Council meeting, Teo stood up to speak. He had become Earth's chief ambassador now. "Earth seeks nothing that belongs to others," Teo said. "We do not want territory beyond our own world. We have not attacked any species that did not attack us first. We have sacrificed many of our soldiers to defend colonies that do not even belong to us. We have turned down chances to conquer species that we defeated in battle. We are fearsome, yes, but we are fearsome because we are strong enough to choose peace. We do not conquer because we can choose not to." The words were powerful. The council listened, and many members began to doubt the Valorians' warnings. If Earth really wanted to conquer everyone, why had they shown mercy so many times? Why had they not taken what they could have taken? By the end of the meeting, the council had made a new decision. They created something called the Earth Accord, a promise that all the species in it would not attack each other and would help defend each other if someone attacked. Over 30 species signed this agreement. Earth had gone from being unknown to being the center of the largest alliance in the galaxy. And it had all happened because humans proved they could be strong, fair, and wise at the same time. The crisis came without warning. Deep in space, in a region called the Andromeda area, something woke up. This something was not alive in the way that people usually thought about being alive. It did not think about things or make choices like other beings did. But it could do things. It could move, it could destroy, it could copy itself. The Null Collective was an ancient machine created by a civilization that had died millions of years ago. Its creators had made it to protect their worlds from danger. But something had gone wrong. The creators had died, but the machine had kept working. And now it had only one directive: eliminate everything. Destroy everything. Copy the technology of everything you destroy. The Null Collective started moving through space. It went from system to system. When it found planets with life, it attacked them. When it found stations with technology, it broke them and copied them. When it found ships, it took apart their weapons and learned how to make them better. Entire worlds were destroyed in days. Thousands of species died. Cities that had stood for thousands of years were turned to dust. The Null Collective was like a storm that could not be stopped by words or promises. It could not be reasoned with because it was not thinking. It could not be frightened because it could not feel fear. It could only destroy and copy and continue moving forward. The Galactic Council received reports of the destruction. At first, they did not understand what was happening. Then more reports came in. An entire star system was gone. Then another. The destruction was moving toward the galaxy's center, toward the places where billions of people lived. For the first time in thousands of years, every major species in the galaxy felt the same fear. The Valorians were afraid. The Krell were afraid. Even the ancient Mindians, who had lived longer than any other species, were afraid. Because the Null Collective could not be stopped by the things that usually worked. It could not be scared away. It could not be negotiated with. It could not be defeated by any single species. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. This was not just a meeting for their own species. This was a meeting where every powerful species in the galaxy sent their best representatives. Crystallis 9 came from the Valorians. Warlord Vexkarth came from the Krell, the same warrior who had fought humans and retreated. Zorn Ki came from the Mindians. All the major powers were there, and Teo was there too, representing Earth. Crystallis 9 stood up. He looked smaller now, less confident than before. We have a problem that threatens everything we have built. Every civilization in this room faces destruction. We must work together or we will all die. What is this thing? Asked one leader. We do not know how to kill it, said another. For hours, they discussed the Null Collective. They looked at data and videos of the destruction. They saw that nothing they threw at the machine seemed to work. You could shoot weapons at it, and it would repair itself faster than the weapons could destroy it. You could try to run away, and it would chase you. You could try to hide, and it would find you. Then Mintai, who was sitting next to Teo, asked a question. What if we do not try to kill it in the way we usually kill things? What if we use different tactics? What if we use human tactics? Everyone looked at Mintai. Explain, said Crystallis 9. The Null Collective is strong, Mintai said. It is much stronger than any single species. But maybe it is not stronger than all of us working together. Maybe we can do what it cannot do. Maybe we can adapt. Maybe we can learn from every battle and get better. Maybe we can surprise it. How do you suggest we do this? Asked Vexkarth, his white eyes looking directly at Mintai. Mintai took a breath. I suggest we put humans in charge of the defense. I suggest we use human strategy and human soldiers as the core of our military. I suggest that we let my people show you how to fight something that seems impossible. The room was very quiet. They were asking humans to lead the fight against something that was destroying entire civilizations. This was a huge responsibility, but it was also a huge honor. Crystallis 9 did something that shocked everyone. He stood up and he said, I agree. Humans have proven they can do the impossible. Let us trust them with this. Let us put Commander Mintai in charge of the defense of the galaxy. One by one, the other leaders agreed. Warlord Vexkarth nodded slowly. Even the Mindians, who usually did not trust anyone except other Mindians, agreed. Minte stood up. He was not the highest rank in the room. He did not have the most experience in galaxy-wide warfare. But everyone looked at him and waited for him to speak. "We will need soldiers from every species," Minte said. "We will need Krell warriors. We will need Valorian shields. We will need Mindian intelligence. We will need everyone working together. And we will need humans because humans know how to keep fighting when things seem hopeless." The command center was built on a space station far from any major world. Thousands of soldiers from dozens of species arrived. They had never worked together before. They did not always trust each other, but they had to work together or they would all die. Ji Wu was there with a unit of human soldiers. Yejin was there as a strategic commander. Ho Sung set up medical facilities to treat wounded soldiers from all species. And Min Tae commanded everything, coordinating the chaos of a war that involved beings more different from each other than anyone had ever tried to work with. The battle was terrible and long. The Null Collective sent out weapons that human shields had never seen before. It adapted to their attacks faster than they could change their strategies. It was like fighting an enemy that learned and improved with every moment. But humans did something the Null Collective had not expected. They failed, and then they learned from their failure. They tried something new. When that did not work, they tried something else. They did not give up. A Valorian soldier would be pinned down, and a human soldier would run across open ground to help them, not caring about the danger. A Krell warrior would be fighting alone, and human soldiers would join him, making them stronger together than apart. Mindians would share their telepathic understanding, and humans would use it to predict the Null Collective's movements. For 3 months they fought. Thousands of soldiers died. But they pushed the Null Collective back. They did not destroy it completely, but they contained it. They pushed it far away from the places where civilization existed. They made it dormant, like a sleeping danger that could wake up later, but was not a threat right now. When the battle was finally over, the galaxy was shocked and grateful. Humans had led the defense. Humans and their allies had saved everyone. At the memorial service for all the soldiers who died, Warlord Vexkarth stood up and spoke. "I have fought many battles," Vexkarth said. "I have conquered many worlds. I have shown strength in ways that made my enemies tremble. But I learned something new in this war. I learned that the strongest thing in the galaxy is not the desire to conquer. The strongest thing is the desire to survive, to protect others, to keep fighting even when victory seems impossible. This is what humans showed us. This is why Earth is truly fearsome. Because humans do not want to dominate. Humans want to live. And they will do anything to make sure others can live too." The galaxy had changed. Every species now understood something they had not understood before. Humans were special. Not because they were the strongest, but because they could bring everyone together. Not because they wanted to rule, but because they were willing to fight for everyone else's freedom. And that made them the most valuable species in all of known space.